What is an ideology?
Here's the definition of ideology. A system of ideas and ideals, especially one which forms the basis of economic or political theory and policy.
As I have often said, that the battlegrounds is ideological and the war is psychological. And when it comes to one's philosophical view, or I would like to say his or her viewpoint. I often conclude that there's four behaviors: values, virtues, views, and vices. Ideology. The resources that is available, let's say the natural resources, as one can convert that which comes from the ground and give it value and use that value for those the resources to further maybe give it value. I want to make a point here in how humans have placed more value on that which is outside of themselves. It is a system of ideas and ideals, which that has some has become the ideal model. Some people have become the ideal model to follow. The system of ideas. It could be communism, it could be socialism, it could be capitalism. It could be also democracy. But remember, it says the ideology. Ology is the study of where is this system of study coming from? Because it says it forms the basis of economic and political theory. Something that is very based on theory and policy, like the ideology of a democracy. Demon, krasi, strength and power. Maybe it's the term itself is something, the word democracy itself could be something that is very demonic in the Latin sense. Humans have not yet learned to be humans. We see that. We profess to be capitalists, socialists, Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist. We profess to be nationalists. Things that are very external. But yet we have not yet learned to accept the fact of being human. And some say, well, that is being human. I'm talking about in the mind and way in which we must learn how to treat each other. Yes, as family. Well, we study this creation. We look at the skies like a roof. And the earth is a home. It's a single family home. To be one. It's strange to me when humankind use their mental faculties and their physical abilities to put people at odds with one another. That's strange to me. Yes. Anytime one use the natural resources to further economically exploit people, politically manipulate people, socially degrade people, and religiously misindoctrinate people, that type of culture is destructive. Dr. Seymour, educated, would say you have to take a very serious look at culture when it becomes destructive. Imam Wandi Muhammad talked about in this wise about that which is fads, trends. And he deal with principles, and then we deal with institutions, and then we deal with culture. But this bear with me on trying to make a connection here, specifically in what Imam was applying that to. But I know that when you look at that which is popular, or fads or trends, they come and go. But it must have principles to stand on. And if one have no principles to stand on, it goes to, you have to look at the institutions. And if is the institutions producing principles and standards that are set up just for them, or are they producing teaching in the institutions to further perpetuate and promote an ideology to exploit the resources that politically manipulate, socially degrade, religiously misindoctrinate, and economically exploitate people? And then you have to look at the culture. Culture could be designed to help us find our bearings. For me, culture is the totality of a people, thought, and practice. I believe I've heard Sister Amin said that. But I liken culture to come from agriculture. And Chinka Diop brought that to attention. Agriculture. Yes. And when you think of agriculture, you think of being productive. Because I believe Einstein said the mind at its best is to be productive, or maybe it was attributed to Elijah Muhammad. But the mind at its best is to be productive, and maybe it was Einstein that said that which occupies the mind, conditions the mind, that's just the nature of the mind. Yes. But then I like to deal with custom, which means people have become accustomed to the culture, because the culture, if it becomes destructive, because culture is dynamic, it always changes, and then that which is killing us is resistance to change. Our bodies change. Yes. So then we become accustomed to that. I added customs. Yes. So what is this, man? We're looking at in a society in which we live, with a guy who talked about the human tendencies, how the human tendencies are being exploited. Yes. And that's why there's a religion. Islam talks about there is no compulsive in the religion. Yes. So then some come up with the word disciple, and the prefix of the word disciple is discipline. Yes. So discipline precedes knowledge, and orientation precedes education. It's challenging indeed in a society in which humans, because remember, when we deal with a system of ideas and ideals are like models, Then you deal with the modality and the methodology of which forms that which is taking form, which means it's taking value. And the value is the basis of echo, that which is either resounding echo, or that which bounces off the wall, or that which is baseless, which means it is a fallacy. Political theory, fallacy. Because if it echoes, it sends a resounding effect. It spreads, but it reverberates. And however far that it goes, and maybe it has went as far as it could go. The theory and policy. Because I've learned that policy is driven by interests. In the word policy, that was a place, I believe in Greek, called polis, where only the wealthy could vote. Women and children you could not participate in that activity. There is a lot to be said about this, because when you look at ideology, there's something similar to that. Beliefs, ideas, ideals, principles, doctrine, creed, credo, teaching, and that which is dogmatic. And then when we deal with that which is dogmatic, we're dealing with something that is theistic. And people have a problem with the word of atheistic. The theistic take things personal. Because when you think about the term black and white, the word term itself, which means it only lasts for a certain amount of time. Biologically, humans are here only for a certain amount of time. Possibly that which is eternal is consciousness. Personal, person, in the Latin sense, that's through which sound is made. It is said the first law of the universe is motion, yet, but before that there is sound. Then you have the waves. That is a communication system. How do you destroy anyone, or try to destroy them? You destroy the image of how they see themselves. If you look at what we call, not hard on them, entertainers or such as that. Look at politicians such as that. Look at those who consider to have the wealth, as they have become the model because of their reputation due to their wealth. It has nothing to do with their character. Because the material that has been given to build on our humanity is character, and character is the outgrowth of one's humanity. That is the purest form of evangelizing. You look at term black and white, it's just conceptual, it's that nothing factual. A fallacy. Fraudulent behaviors creates fatalities. You can promise something that you're unable to come through on. It creates fatalities because it puts you at an advantage and put the other at a disadvantage. You would say, well, everybody wants to be at an advantage. There is a vantage and a vantage point. Look again, we look at the word a point. We're dealing with one's point of view. What is the incentive and what is the initiative? What is the motive behind it all? Is it a gut feeling that people have become addicted to and taking advantage of one another's vulnerability? Is it an addictive habit that people will continue to use policy and theory and the resources to manipulate, degrade, exploitate, and misindoctrinate? Or indoctrinate, either way you want to go. Become so rigid, so dogmatic. So there is no gray area. Something to think about. We look at what we call territorial battles or wars over resources to further dominate and control, to further manipulate, degrade, exploitate, and misindoctrinate. What good is it done? Has it done, and what good is it doing? In a local setting, a national setting, and an international setting. Trying to develop being human, you, that which comes from the earth. Human potential. Cultivation system. A reproductive system. A circular system. That which cultivates an inclination of that which humans are inclined to by nature. Is to come into complete civility. Civility means a citizen, to be civil. But first, you must be at peace in that natural process, that natural inclination, and that requires patience. And we have patience that leads to gratitude, and that leads to gratitude, and that makes you to become competent. Competently conscious of this evolving, and be at peace to come into complete civility. Then to reproduce that, and then to circulate that. As a result, you have that harmony. Until next time.